We continue learning Hachzek Musar Yomi. We're up to the 36th page in the art scroll, Rabeinu Yona's Sharei Teshuva. And Rabeinu Yona is in the middle of finishing off the Ikar HaShlishi, the third principle of Teshuva, which was Yagoin, grief. And he just finished explaining how this deep, visceral pain that one could feel, ironically perhaps, intellectually, comes to purify the neshama, as the neshama, which is a piece of godliness itself, when it feels this yagin, when it feels this grief, comes back to Hashem and thereby takes the place of any form of punishment, which is the reason why this is such a critical step to tshuva. Now says Rabeinu Yona v'Amar David alav hashalom, we see a precedent for this in David HaMelech, in which he says, Hashem negdecha kol tavasi, Hashem, before you is all my yearnings, and my anacha, my sighing, is not concealed from you. What does this mean? David HaMelech is telling our Kadosh Baruch Hu, all my taivos, all my desires are revealed to you. That really, what do I want? Really, what is my innermost yearning? To really, says David HaMelech, to just serve you, Hashem. And you know how much I sigh, how much grief I'm in. That is not from the fact that I don't succeed in this world, in the physical matters of this world, but rather the fact that unfortunately there are times that I have sinned and I've been deficient in serving you, Hashem. So says Rabeinu Yona, one who davens intensely, says to Hashem in tefillah, my sighing comes from the fact, it's caused by my fear of you. Remove from me all causes of sighing. And all my worries come from the fact that I was koitzer yad, I didn't serve you enough, Hashem. To remove all the worries. When we turn to Hashem and we say that all our worries, all our issues are only because we don't serve you enough, but we want to serve you more, and Hashem, remove those stumbling blocks. There's no greater way that Hashem looks, like in the mashal of the king, like we saw yesterday. Hashem looks at his beloved and says, all that's what you want. So let me indeed remove those stumbling blocks so you could come closer. And we continue with the Ikar HaRavi, the fourth principle of Teshuva, says Rabeinu Yona, Hatzar b'maseh. What this means is actively, in the Maisa form, actively feeling tsar, pain. Now what does this mean? Says Rabeinu Yona, we see in the Navi Yoel that even now the words of Hashem return to your heart with fasting, weeping, lamentation. What do we see? These are active forms. These aren't just sighing internally. These are external forms of showing grief, weeping, lamenting. These are external forms of grief. Says Rabeinu Yona, why is this so necessary? The heart and the eyes are the two sirsurim, the brokers of sin. What does that mean? That means these are the entities that chap us, that lure us, that cause us to do averos. As of course we say every day in Shema, therefore, the hearts and the eyes, they themselves are quote unquote guilty. They pull us in. We see something enticing. We desire something wrong. So therefore, how do you do tshuva? The same way they cause us, they pull us. We got to rein it back. And that's the tshuva. The guilt of the heart, the guilt of one's heart that pulled him away, is cleansed by how? By sighing, by allowing the heart to express itself. And by this eye that breaks him over the fact that he stumbled and he sinned. V'ne'amar, says David HaMelech in Tehillim, Lei v'nishbar v'nitzka l'kim lo'isivzeh. A broken and humbled heart, Hashem, you don't despise. V'amashal al-zeh min ha'kilim ha'tameim. What is the mashal we see from a kli, from a vessel, which is tummy? Asher nishbu mitu masam taru. What happens that when an impure vessel becomes broken, it becomes tahar. You have to break it, smash it, and that's what gives off the purity. So therefore, when the heart is broken, when we have an external or visible sigh, that is the purification for that heart that lured you to do something wrong. And continues Rabeinu Yona, what about the eyes? The eyes that looked at the wrong places, the eyes that pulled you to do the wrong things, the eyes that desired something that they should not have. How are they yichupar? B'demais. They are atoned through tears. The eyes shed streams of tears because they didn't keep the Torah. It doesn't say I did not keep the Torah. Shamru in the plural, the eyes are considered that which did not keep the Torah. Came sivabu achet, because the eyes are that which brings one to sin. Therefore says David HaMelech, when he does tshuva, he includes the eyes that they shed the water. So the external, visible grief and tears and lamenting and sighing, that is how one cleanses these two sinners, or I should say these two entities that pulls one to sin, which is the heart and the eyes, thereby purifying them. And that's the fourth step of tshuva.